Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. Okay, so why not had some things. So okay. Um, let's see. Well, I always have to decide where I'm gonna start. Okay, I guess I'll start from the start as much as I can. Um, so we see Abby and Devon for the second day in a row. But as I alluded to in my last video, don't get comfortable because they're probably going to be gone for another 6 months to a year, unless there's some big family function that they feel that they need to have them there for. Otherwise, you're not going to see them for a while. Um, but I guess they were trying to utilize them when they had them because they had a confrontation with Cain about how he led to the unaliving of Chance, who was married to, Abby for a time. And they raised the son like their own until Abby and Devon had the fling and it turned into, you know, the thing. Okay. So then Kane, I kind of feel bad for Billy Flynn, although he can take it because he was getting it from both sides today because he was getting it from Abby and Devon. And then Lily kind of just popped up and joined in and said, "What are you going to say different? How are you going to change people's minds?" And yada, 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 yada. And I'm like, damn, okay. So, um, yeah. Okay. So that was that pretty much, right? And then we have another storyline of okay, so what they did differently that they haven't done in a while is I've been saying for the last like 4 months, I know that they need to update us on what's going on with Tessa and Mariah. And I know I said, why are they off screen? Come on. So they did something smart. On one side, they talked about what happened with Tessa. On the other side, they talked about what happened with Mariah. Okay. I'm gonna talk about Mariah for a minute and then I'll get to Tessa. So Mariah, I kind of feel bad for because I think down deep she wants to save her marriage and her relationship with Tessa. And for Tessa and the baby too, Arya, right? But because she hasn't opened up at all to Tessa, although Tessa has tried multiple times in multiple ways to say, "I'm here for you, just tell me what's going on," and she said nothing, nothing, nothing. Tessa finally gave up. And we saw that in the last, I think it was last week. Yeah, it was last week when they finally had a conversation and she was trying to have a conversation with her again, but, but Mariah was doing nothing, saying nothing, nothing. So I'm like, okay. Because you're supposed to believe that Mariah's in Boston or something, getting special ed treatment to deal with whatever happened to her with that guy, right? And all the ensuing things. So the flip side is Tessa has to come visit her, and she did, and they were visiting in the room or whatever they call it, right? And they're playing cards, and they had some kind of discussion, and Mariah was still being the same way. So Tessa gave up because Mariah said almost nothing and then walked off. And I remember talking about it that day because I said, that's weird. Okay, they had like years of friendship and then a relationship, and she just tossed it away and does nothing. So then we see the scene of Tessa, Kate Fairbanks rips up the card that happens to be a queen and throws it on the floor and then is crying hysterically, and then we cut to the credit, right? So I'm like, oh man, okay, I guess that's it. So then, okay, remember that because it's important. Because they showed Mariah picking up the queen from the floor, still mangled. So she's got the two pieces in her hand, And, she's coming to the realization that Tessa has finally given up on her despite trying and trying and trying. Okay. Okay. So that's Mariah. And also, she did call her mother Sharon and talked about how, um, Tessa finally gave up on me. I can't believe she did it. I'm really sad. And she's crying on the phone. And she asked Sharon to please come as soon as possible to be with her and comfort her and whatever. Okay, that's Mariah's side. On the Tessa side, getting a little more interesting here because, whew, all right. So, um, we start with they finally come back in town, and uh, Daniel has missed Danny's bachelor party, so he's kind of a little bummed about that. And they talk about it and whatever. And he's like, "Well, I wish I was here, but I was glad to be with you, so whatever." So then, um, Tessa doesn't want him to leave. So then she says, "You could buy me a drink if you want." So they have a drink, or maybe a couple. And the reason I say a couple is because there's a scene after this where she's clearly intoxicated at some level. Okay. But anyway, I'll get there. Okay. So they're talking and whatever. And then I'm like, okay, cool. So then I'm waiting for this moment because in the description it says Tessa makes a bold move. And I'm like, okay, what's the bold move? Although I had seen it kind of in the previews, that was going to be a kiss of some sort. But then they were kissing on the stairs. So I said, what's going to happen after that? But I don't know. Okay. So the bold move is she kissed him. So now they both know how they feel about each other. Okay, now for clarification here. Um, well, it's evident they're gonna sleep together. And I mean, I don't just say that to say that. Okay, it's been building for months and months and months since freaking June or whatever, maybe even April. Okay, but say June, say 4 months. This romantic tension and whatever has been building up, and the friendship and everything else has been building up for 4 months. So you know it's going to go somewhere. Okay, my only caveat is it is clear that Tessa is intoxicated. Please don't have another scenario where someone feels taken advantage of, or whatever words you want to put on this. I don't want another storyline like that in my life. Please and thank you because, yeah, no. Um, yeah. And what's funny is my dad happened to be here, and I said, "Oh, okay," but I hope it doesn't go any further because she's clearly like bumping into walls. You know, I don't want it to go anywhere now because she's not in the right mindset. So yeah, okay, that's my 2 cents on that one. Um, okay, so yeah, that's pretty much what we have to look forward to. I guess we have to look forward to the cricket Christine. I call her Christine, okay, because she's a grown up. But anyway, we have her wedding to look forward to, and we have whatever's gonna happen with Kane and Lily to look forward to, I guess. And then we have Daniel and Tessa as far as couples, and then we have all the extra, goings around. Although I gotta add one final like note. Um, okay, Phyllis. Now I know I give Phyllis some stuff on a regular basis because I'm like, okay, whatever. But I feel bad for her, man. I really do. I want her to have a win. Like I want Billy to have a win. I want Phyllis to have a win too, and not a win by default, an actual win. So that's what I want. But anyway, okay. Bye, everybody.